Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Sovereign Tower. As today, we continue feeling things out, but I've got to say, things are moving in a slightly grimmer direction than I'd really like. And I miss my boy Goberto. I do want to give Doulahan a chance, but I've got to say, I think it's just a matter of time before we set things to right. But, you know, we'll see what the day brings. Perhaps something will sway my opinion. Let's check in with the peanut gallery. My love. Ah, my sovereign. I sense the formidable dragon knight looming within these walls. Is that so? Tell me, is there anywhere in this tower your lovely eyes can't see? Of course not, my dear sovereign, although it is difficult to pull my gaze away from your exploits. As the protector of this tower, I can feel every ripple of energy that passes through these walls. And the Dragon Knight is already familiar to me. He once sat at the round table during the reign of Ermin the Wise. Ermin, right, yeah, that was the guy before me, like 100 years ago. What was his deal? Ermin? I remember a remarkable sovereign who unified a realm once plagued by bitter divides. The shadow his achievements cast was certain to fill his successor with dread. Who could ever hope to equal him? Perhaps the Dragon Knight feels a certain longing for that era. But I have no doubt that you will succeed in proving your worth to him, my dear sovereign. Yeah, probably, but, I mean, let's not take anything for granted. Farewell, my love. Arlen? Ah, your grace, I wish to speak with you. I have no desire, of course, to question your decisions, but I would like to suggest the utmost caution regarding your new recruit, Sir Tarkus. Okay, well, I mean, not trying to be harsh here, but that means you are actually questioning my decisions. Forgive me. Sir Tarkus is indeed a formidable knight, but as I previously mentioned, some of his methods are harsh. I simply fear he might try to establish a certain approach to the Regency by your side. Yeah, the thought had occurred, and I understand your concerns, but I assure you I'm not that impressionable, especially when it's something I am already expecting. Guy's not exactly subtle. Yes, you must be right. My apologies. Perhaps such a man will open up unexpected perspectives for us. Sure, that he will. I mean, I can at least verify that he does in fact open up alternate avenues and approaches. If you're willing to, you know, set aside things like those pesky ethics or morals. Which I'm not, so, yeah. Arwenna? Well, your grace, you have thus provoked the wrath of the Dragon Knight, whose fury had not been felt for many moons. Yeah, what exactly is that guy's deal? Did I do something to set him off, or is he just always like this? Good heavens, no. The Dragon Knight is a mere contrarian. He opposes you on principle, simply because you managed to open the ancient Tower of Briz. It's nothing new. Even during my wild youth in the days of the Taraskis War, this old fossil was already well over 100 years old, and driven by conservative values. Believe me, I fear he would have behaved the same way with anyone who managed to ascend to the throne. Oh, okay, so it's just like a standardized test he gives to every ruler since Ermin the Wise, which would just be me. Indeed. The advantage being that it's a safe bet he won't hold a grudge and will accept your rule once you've proven your worth. Okay, sounds good. Oh, and this guy. Hey. Well, well, Your Grace, that's quite a delicious challenge you've been given, isn't it? Yeah, so it would seem. And I've got to imagine you're loving this. Seeing my life put in peril. Me? Oh, no! Don't take things so seriously, Your Grace. After all, if things were to go wrong, you'd need only use my powers to make a few small adjustments, wouldn't you? Perhaps there is a spark of curiosity to see if you're actually good enough to manage without me. Well, I mean, you can absolutely get by without his powers. But given this is our first time through, I do feel compelled to use them at least once or twice. And, as aforementioned, I do miss my boy Goberto. I'm definitely more likely to use my powers to save other people than I am to save myself. Alright, we've got our main quest, the defense of the Siege of Gavalt. 2-day deadline requires 2 nights. We've got bucolic diplomacy, a basic busywork task assigned by a somewhat snarky aristocrat. And then we've got our first set of randomized quests, the ones the courier dropped off. We've got the Squash Festival, which is a fairly low-threat quest that requires strength and charisma. A People's Emissary requests royal protection for the proper conduct of the well-attended local event known as the Squash Festival. Sending knights would be a great sign of esteem for the people. Fairly minor reward, but would give us people rep, which we would need, were we sticking around long enough to actually fight the knight. We've got Grest Gargoyle Hunt, moderate risk, requires strength, wit, and charisma. The Nobility of Grest invites you to the Nocturnal Gargoyle Hunt. These overpopulated cave dwellers end up in a traditional soup. Sending a knight would be quite the diplomatic gesture. Again, fairly moderate reward. Grants noble rep, which we don't explicitly need, but it would be nice to raise all our reps where we can. Plus, we do basically have pretty much the perfect knight for that particular task. And it is a good example of how you need to pay attention to the keywords in each quest. This one, for example, not being ideal for knights who might be claustrophobic or afraid of the dark. And the Stolen Snake. Oof, that's a rough one. Moderate risk, requires low strength and wit, but it's a 2-day quest and requires 2 nights. That's a big manpower sink. A guild of artisans reports the theft of their masterpiece, a massive cast iron serpent or worm encrusted with gemstones. They suspect a sea creature may have taken it. Definitely the most awkward quest we've currently got on our roster to actually fit in, but it does also promise probably the greatest reward. +2 rep with the Merchant's Guild, 45 coin. And it's a relic recovery. Oh, which only Goberto actually liked. Rest in peace, my boy. My poor boy Goberto. Yeah, Dullahan hates relic recovery. But I do think we have enough to at least eke out some borderline successes here. Starting with this one, bucolic diplomacy, and given that the person who gave us this busy work was Gwendon's aunt, who better to send than Gwendon himself? He seems thrilled. As for the rest, we will go ahead and knock out Defense of the Siege of Gavalt. If just to see where the story goes from here, I imagine it gets even grimmer since we haven't gone back to reset anything. Tarkus would be perfect for this quest, but he's probably also just narratively the last person in the world we want actually anywhere near it. So we'll go in with Angelica and Dullahan instead. They're not really great with wits or charm, and Dullahan will hate this, but hopefully they can coast on just raw strength alone. Also, I think Angelica still got the bow, so that's like +1 wits there. And as for Tarkus, we'll give him some busy work just to keep him out of our hair. Dude loves to kill, so who better to handle our gargoyle hunt? Between that wits and strength, he should have it in the bag. Oh, yep, he's thrilled. Have fun, you psychopath. And let's see how this goes. Okay, yeah, just had to make sure we did in fact have the bow equipped. Knights deployed. And everyone coming back. That's a good sign. So how'd we do? Oof. Come on. Oh, wow. We just barely made that. Ow. With the help of your knights, the rebel army was repelled. However, it was impossible to neutralize the princess. Yeah, so strength was just barely enough to push us over. Though we can also see that some of our knights' unique traits negatively impacted their chances for success. Definitely a complicating factor as you get into a lot of these later quests. But good work, still got it done. And bucolic diplomacy, unexpected outcome. Villador's emissary was so pleased to see her nephew pampering her petunias that she gave him more pocket money than he needed. Oh wow, yeah, that is actually a very nice reward for basic busy work. And gargoyle hunt. I'm making a note here. Great success. Yeah, Tarkus is in his element when it comes to matters of murder and deceit. Useful for certain things, but still kind of a bummer to have around if you don't really jive with that. Also nets us some gargoyle soup. -2 strength, but +1 agility and wits. And level ups for Dullahan and Gwendon. Congratulations, guys. Don't get used to them. For I do think we're getting pretty close to time. But, you know, we'll give Tarkus and Dullahan a chance to win me over first. What do you say, guys? Ah, your grace. I'm thoroughly disappointed. This tower that belongs to you, why is it so hard to find any historical artifacts here? Portraits of your predecessors should line your corridors, their relics displayed in showcases. How else could you hope to make the most of this fertile soil that is yours? Well, I've only actually had this job for like 4 days, and I didn't exactly bring a lot of stuff with me, so, you know, I haven't really had time to decorate the place. Decorate? Do not be ignorant, your grace. This is not a matter of mere visual distraction. But don't get me wrong, I'm delighted to work alongside you and convinced that together we can shape a bolder future. I'm simply pointing out the need to be inspired by your surroundings in order to achieve that goal. By drawing both from the great victories of history and its most painful failures, so we avoid repeating a fool's mistakes. Bah ha ha ha. Tarkus, you good? You got a little something on your face there. Yeah, that's probably fine. He's fine. Do you grasp the stakes? I mean, kinda, but if you've got some suggestions, I'm all ears. Be a powerful, feared, and respected sovereign. Believe me, Your Grace, I'm no advocate of cruelty or subversion. He lied, lyingly. I merely contend that power must rest on a firm foundation, one the monarch embodies to guide their people toward prosperity. A lighthouse in the dark. A ruler's decision must be decisive, their words unambiguous and striking. That is the mark of true leadership. Such a stance ensures a safer worldview. It forges a strong, proud people united around an exemplary leader. Gosh, you make some good points. I imagine you have someone specific in mind that you think I should emulate my rule after? A sovereign once embodied on this throne the ideal of reassuring stability that I long to see restored. They ruled with an iron hand and managed to rally all their contemporaries under one banner. Bah ha ha ha. Their name was Herod. That might be important later. The direct ancestor of the Gevalt family line. He stops. By the way, Your Grace, I repeat, with me at your side, I am sure that this ideal can be achieved. I don't claim to know your true motives, but I'm certain your choice to recruit me was no accident. So trust me. Follow where I lead and the path to prosperity will unfold before you. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and press X to doubt. Well, bud, I don't think that really did much to sway me, but, let's see what our good friend Dulahan here's got for us. Ah, hello, Sovereign. I was engaging in the trendiest activity of the moment, slaking the thirst off my tongue. Dulahan raises a cup to his lips and empties it to emphasize his words. The water flows through its body and spills onto the ground with a gentle, soothing sound of running water. Yummy. Indeed. Yeah, I'm convinced that right there is a finely hydrated punch. Well done. Might want to get that bladder checked out, though. Ah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I feel hydrated. I have always wanted to be a great knight, and today is the day. Okay, so you know that I know that you're not actually a normal knight, right? The signs are subtle, but I did notice. I am. Why? What do you think I am, if not human? Well, bud, of the three choices being presented to me, I'm really hoping you're the ghost of Sir Goberto come back to spend some more quality time, but I imagine that's not the case. I would accept the fairy, though. Goberto. Ah, yes. The idiot whose armor I took. Living in the helmet of this idiot is unbearable. He stops, but too much has been revealed. All right, Sovereign. Perhaps I am a demon. in an idiot's helmet. Yeah, you maybe want to elaborate on that? If that's Scoberto's armor, then why are you at the helm? We demons are influenced by our containment vessel. We are what we inhabit, and inhabit we must. Oh, interesting. Which also does kind of shed some light on our other demonic friend. This armor I found belonged to a human, an imbecile one. I am afflicted with an intellectual obsolescence and an impulse for heroism as illogical as it is insufferable. I suggest you provide me with a helmet of better craftsmanship. Or better yet, a new vessel made of meat. I don't feel like that's a good idea, but I also feel like you'll hate it if I say no. So you know what? I'm just going to say I will take it under consideration. My thanks. Hurry, please. I feel myself fading away behind this stupid desire to save people. Oh, Dualhan, buddy. Yeah, it's probably not great. Having another demon in tow. Man, so our round table's not really turning out very heroic here. Angelica's the only one here with actual good intentions. But, you know, at the same time, it also really comes down to what kind of round table you're trying to run. Obviously, if you want to lean into tyranny, murder and terror tactics, etc., Tarkus and Dualhan definitely the go-tos. But maybe less so for me. Let's do one last round of audiences before we roll it back. Might feel like a bit of a waste, since we are going to be effectively undoing most of this progress. But we will still bank some extra stat growth and information, which we will then carry back with us, thus making us slightly better equipped to handle things the second time through. Greetings. Behind her marble facade, a tiny variation betrays something. Despite herself, her fatigue is perceptible. You have successfully driven the rebel forces out of Fort Gavalt. I thank you for that. Yeah, no problem. I don't suppose that was enough to actually calm the people's concerns? No. To be honest, people's anger continues to rumble. Their failure has not extinguished the fire. It has fueled it. The rebels, more relentless than ever, feed on it and exult in it. They want to start again. And they will start again. Again and again. As long as they find their fervor with my own daughter. She implies that you have only honored part of your commitment. And let me guess, you want me to take care of her, your own daughter? Yes, that's what I was expecting from you in the first place. We would like to reiterate our gratitude for the assistance provided. However, this is merely a temporary solution if the root cause of the problem is not addressed. But you're not entirely to blame. My daughter managed to escape you, and I congratulate her on that. But now that her forces are weakening, it is time for us to act and lay siege. Yeah, I'll certainly get right on that. But, you know, just to make it clear, this is where it ends. I am pleased that we have come to an understanding. She didn't really give you a choice. I leave the decision on strategy regarding my daughter to you. Act within your means to put an end to her actions. Sure, we will... We'll talk her down. Honestly, I feel like this is the sort of situation that you really probably could have resolved yourself by just talking to her. Though, then again, I suppose I could have done that too. That is actually an option. Hey, we got the wise tag. Nice. So now we carry that back with us through time. Very well. She seems to hesitate. Let's hope nothing goes wrong. Yeah, don't worry, even if we were actually going to do this quest, we would keep Tarkus far away from it. Ursula. Also, Gwendon, I see you hiding back there. Unhappy about his first quest, no doubt. Hi. So what are we doing here? Is this a staring contest, or... am I winning? Quite the tower you have here, Your Grace. Bit dusty, reeks of magic, but I quite like the mood here. Name is Ursula, by the way. I've been roaming these lands for a couple of years, and to tell the truth, I'm bored to death. Do you have a bunch of exotic and unusual quests you could send me out on? Well, we certainly have those in abundance, and I've got to say, just a glance at your stats here does make it seem like you would be a pretty decent addition to our particular crew. Let's see here. Jaded, yeah, that tracks. Likes relic recovery, but dislikes diplomacy. Man, our entire round table kind of hates diplomacy, aside from Angelica. Lady Ursula is a lone knight who roams the lands of Briz in an eternal quest to find distractions to chase away her boredom. Well, Ursula, you're not really going to get much time to do anything with us, but sure, why not? Welcome aboard. Sounds like fun. Going to stay here for a while, then. I mean, I wouldn't get too comfortable. Grellin. Good morning, Your Grace. My name is Grellin. Ah! And I will be responsible for representing the interests of the inhabitants of Rosen in your lands, if that suits you. Perfectly. Rosen was the capital of Briz until the resurrection of this tower. But it is still a major tourist destination today. Arlen, is this another member of your family? We've really got to talk about nepotism at some point. Yes, we are, shall we say, distantly related. He is indeed my loving young son. Anyway, if we could change the subject. Yeah, see, Grellin gets it. Funny that he's the only one who actually seems to realize how it looks. Though, you know, I suppose historically, even outside of fantasy, that is basically how it worked back then. I came to bring you our first request. A manuscript of ecclesiastical origin appears to have been stolen. Since then, groups of occultists and nobles have been accusing each other, each seeking to pin the blame. We need someone to sort this out. Right. Fairly straightforward choice here. We either investigate the occultist, which nets us rep with the nobles, or we investigate the nobles, which nets us ret with the occultists, or scholars rather. They use the two terms pretty interchangeably. And honestly, after the Gevalt stuff, the scholars are where we're weakest, so I suppose if we were sticking around, that is the one we'd go with. Especially since it also nets us a bonus consumable. Thank you, Your Grace. Yeah, don't mention it. Gwendon? So, that's it. Our shining principles. Let the living filth into our sacred walls. Excuse me? The Cutner nomads you've so magnanimously allowed to enter here? They're loud, they stink, and I'm fairly certain their grubby little brats stole food from the kitchens. What's next? Will you grant them knighthood in all your kindness? Oh, brother, this guy stinks. I mean, Gwendon, I took this job to help people, and they are people who are in need of help. Also, you came to serve at my court. I didn't ask you to come here. If you want to stick around, you should maybe at least pretend to respect my decisions. I mean, I'm just saying, there's plenty of other knights out there I could replace you with. I owe no respect for a sovereign who opens their arms to swindlers and hired blades. I mean, I'd take exception to that, but I did just recruit Tarkus, so, you know. And Roland. The Bats Agrest have apparently signed a secret pact against the town's bakers. Blast me if I know why. Maybe some sorcerer weren't pleased with his last brioche, but there's dark magic in this, no doubt. Our bakers have been besieged by these creatures. Flour contaminated, bats jumping on them when opening ovens, lurking on roofs and terrorizing folks. Hey, a nice simple one. Two options. One, to kill the bats, which feels a bit short-sighted, or to, you know, actually go after the root cause. Though really, this is just another early example of how you really should pay attention to the nuance and context of the specific quests you might be sending people on. Though in my case, I'd try to treat the root cause regardless. Nice. That'll make soup. Super. Oh, and we've got a few folks feeling chatty. Let's see what they've got for us. Arlen? Oh, Your Grace. Come in. Look what I'm pulling out of the oven right here. Small cakes, carefully arranged on the table, fill the room with a warm, spiced fragrance. I used to love cooking for my children when they were younger. I miss it sometimes. I'm quite certain they eat absolute rubbish nowadays. He gazes at the biscuits with a gentle nostalgia. Anyway, if you would like, Your Grace, I could certainly prepare little treats for our knights from time to time. A good cookie shared is worth 1,000 words, isn't it? That's actually how I met my wife. Nice. That unlocks the kitchen, which we're not going to worry about right now. And Arwen, let's see what you got for us. New attribute discovered. Fortunate. Chance of a score bonus if it grants a better outcome. Ooh, nice. An actual good trait for once. We will absolutely take it. And doesn't really matter if we send you to investigate someone, since we're not going to stick around to see the result. I mean, if I were playing for fun, I would dig a bit deeper, all the way up to the Dragon Knight confrontation, just to bank some extra bonuses and such. Since, again, you do carry that back with you. The information, the rumors, the sovereign archetype points, etc. But, you know, it does also mean retreading a lot of already familiar content, so I'll try to temper that here. I feel like we had a pretty good compromise. We we pushed forward just enough to see the majority of our round table fill out with all manner of malcontents. And I do feel like we can do better, so yeah, I think it's time. So, Your Grace, working with my kind now, are we? That demon who's wormed his way into your lovely tower. You'd better be careful, Your Grace. We aren't exactly known for our honesty, you know. You sure that's the line you want to go with? Except for me, of course, your most loyal servant. Yeah, good save. Well, since you are indeed so trustworthy, I guess I should finally take you up on that offer. I had my doubts, but, at this point, might as well lock it in. And as you can see here, it's a pretty straightforward interface. It shows you which people you met with each day, so you can precisely reinsert yourself on whichever day had the event that you want to redo. Though, in our case, I would kind of like to go back to one of our earliest decisions. Not just to save poor Goberto, but also maybe to avoid getting tangled up in Gavalt's mess. Though, I will stress, there are multiple ways you can approach that whole situation. In our case, we're just not going to go there at all. 'Tis a silly place. But, we could also just continue as we are. We could arrest or murder Mathilda's daughter. Or we could just go back a few days to our first meeting with Mathilda and use our knowledge of who the rebel leader is to actually meet with her instead and team up with her against Mathilda. So there are several different routes you could end up taking, a lot of branching paths. We just happen to be going all the way back to the root to follow an entirely different main branch. I will say, from what I've seen of the game, I do feel like the optimal way to play is probably to go through Act 1 over and over again to unlock all the different information and characters and such. Pick your favorite, and only then proceed to Act 2, at which point a soft lock is placed, preventing you from rolling time back before that. That gives you the most information and archetype points to then move forward with. But it's also a huge time sink, so obviously we're not going to do that here. As it stands, we're already going to get a few retreads in just these few days, which I will try to gloss through, but it's an interesting mechanic. There's a lot of hidden paths you can only unlock via time travel. But also important to stress, it is structurally impossible for you to get the true ending on your first playthrough anyway. So might as well roll back the clock. Hey, Arnold. Hello! Allow my crystal clear voice to caress your delicate ears. I am Arnold, representative of Belthorn, noble region of the county of Groveshire, renowned for its exceptional hunters and its fine, exquisitely soft silks, sometimes even almost affordable. The Count of Groveshire has tasked me with meeting you as part of an idiomatic mission. Indeed. Oi, move, you silk rag. It's me you've been waiting for. Damien, official emissary of Mavignac from the county of Gavalt. Here we go. Gentlemen, please. I already know you're both here to deliver requests from your respective kingdoms. Could we just maybe cut to that part without the needless bickering? Well, one could certainly say... Fine, no time to waste. Tell us, who do you wish to hear from? Hurry. Well, Damien, I went with your side last time around, and that just got me tied up in a messy civil war. So, you know what? Arnold was here first. I will lead with him. And if you'd like to stick around and deliver your request after, I'm happy to hear you out. And if not, that's really more on you than it is on me. Perfect. The county of Gavalt and its people will remember well what the sovereign of the nobles is worth. Sure. Bye. Thank you. He adjusts his pointed little hat before continuing. The Count of Groveshire wished to establish initial contact with you, so that we might have the honor of introducing ourselves before entrusting you with a mission of the utmost importance. A mission, naturally, likely to earn you the alliance of our illustrious country, in exchange, of course, for a few heroic feats, and possibly minor humiliations. Okay, would you care to elaborate on that at all? I cannot reveal any more than that. However, once I inform our illustrious Count that your curiosity is piqued, he will meet with you as soon as his noble schedule permits. Thank you. Sure, sounds like a plan. Goberto! Sir Goberto of Neoned, your grace. The herald said you needed help with some monsters? You're in luck. Slaying wild beasts is my specialty. Say no more, you're in. And, we'll keep you away from trees. You will not regret this, your grace. I mean, you say that, but we'll see. Oh, this guy. Alright, let's get this over with. Hello, your grace, etc., etc. I come with a matter of the highest importance. Nobody ever asks my opinion, blah blah blah. I hope it doesn't bother you. Are you listening? Not really. Guards, could we maybe get someone in here? What do I pay you guys for? I pay you, right? Wait! I might have an idea to help you get rid of that unpleasant feeling of déjà vu. If you threw a sufficiently dim-witted knight in front of the goose, I'm sure it would be quite a spectacle. Maybe it could even be a true life lesson. Then again, I can promise you nothing, your grace. What do you think? I think I really just want you out of my throne room, man. But I guess I'm not going to pass up on free XP, so... Yeah, consider it done. We'll send a guy. Oh, thank you, your grace. I'll go now. Slowly. No, please. On your way. Eliath. Hello, I'm Eliath of Clovermont, your brand new official messenger from Clovermont. I bring a request from Clovermont. Right, yeah, the whole magpie thing, right? Stole your sacred stone and whatnot? A little birdie told me. He seems in awe. How can a mere mortal exude such confidence, he appears to be asking himself. Okay, your grace? Not to worry, I know just the animal lover who can get it done. And I assure you, they will not fall off a ladder and die. Which is a weird thing for me to have to add, but trust me, it is very much necessary. Thank you, your grace. Sure. Karina. Your knights nailed it. Thanks for bringing back my hammer. Happy to do it. Let us forge ahead. Now we've got some retreads here. Let's go ahead and get the forge set up, which will prompt 2 conversations we've already seen. Right, with Karina, and then between Karina and her sister. We'll also go ahead and grab the bow while we're here. Do we need armor repairs? No, we're good. So we'll go ahead and grab the bow. That's a solid early buy. And run through this real quick just to make sure it gets banked. This conversation reveals these 2 are sisters, which we already know, but it's good to let it play out regardless. Since otherwise, it theoretically doesn't happen. And quests? We've got 2 in the queue, and we know what not to do. Technically, I think the best thing we could do here is send Angelica out to deal with the goose anyway, just to prompt the special result. That would net us a little extra reputation and coin. But that's only really important if you want to recruit Chester, which I really kinda don't. I mean, he's actually pretty useful, but there are a lot of other knights I'd really rather have, both for the sake of my vocal cords and my sanity. So, we'll just go with this. We'll have Angelica deal with a magpie, and we'll have Goberto deal with a goose. Which, honestly, just based on the stats, were the things they were better suited to deal with anyway. Also, this way, we do actually get that mount, which is a very nice get this early on. Good luck. Try not to die. Hey, welcome back. So how'd we do? Okay, basic success, we'll take it. The important thing is Goberto is alive. Reward's fairly trivial since we did not get the outstanding result. And Angelica. Hey. I'm making a note here. Great success. Animal lover, once again coming in clutch. You'll love to see it. So yeah, she's definitely the character you want to go to for pretty much any job involving animals. Aside from maybe killing them, but even then, there are some very notable exceptions. Which also nets us our first mount. Paul. A friendly, annoyingly loud donkey who just won't shut up, but would move mountains without hesitation. +1 strength, -2 charisma. But most importantly, notice down on the bottom, cycle duration reduction -1. That's how you deal with those longer duration quests like the ones we glimpsed in the previous timeline. Things are already looking up. Also, level up for Angelica, but sadly not for Goberto. But he does have something to say. Hello, Your Grace. What are you doing in the kitchen? Are you writing to someone too? No, in the kitchen? No, I was... Why, are you writing a letter to someone? To my little sister Berta. She'll be so proud that I've become a knight. I can't wait to tell her all about it. Oh, right, yeah, Berta, we met, kind of. I'll make you proud. Just wait and see. I'm sure you will. So what exactly are you telling her? You've only been here for 1 day, and thus far I think you've just fought a goose. I was recounting all the sensational things that have happened to me recently. My arrival in the audience hall, and of you who agreed to take me on. The moment I stepped onto the kitchen floor for the first time. All of it. Sure, good for you. It really does change a person, doesn't it? I feel like I've grown up just since lunchtime. At least a few inches, Your Grace. Inappropriate. But hey, I'm happy for you. Give Berta my best. Hopefully things are going better for her these days. He gets back to his letter. Boy, oh boy, I sure do love being alive. Goberto, I've missed you, man. And what the heck, we'll run a little long. Serpent Night. A chill runs down your spine as the hooded figure steps toward you. Their piercing eyes, plural, locked firmly onto yours. Greetings, strange sovereign. Yeah, that's me. I'm definitely the strange one here. So Hey, what can I help you with? There is a certain familiarity in the way you carry yourself upon that throne. It is not exactly the first time you have occupied this seat, is it? No, I also occupied it yesterday, but this is the first time I'm seeing you. I note that you chose not to obscure this part of the truth. It is appreciated. Well, you are very welcome. I don't suppose you'd like to tell me who you are? Who I am? Simply a lone wanderer, as you yourself once were, watching and listening. Listening and watching. And what about you? Who are you on this path of destiny? Oh, you know, just a random guy. Stumbled into the tower, still not sure how. Now I'm just kind of stuck on this throne. I mean, I guess I could leave, but then I'd probably die, what with the leprosy and all. Very modest of you, Sovereign. I am curious to discover the end you will bring about. He freezes, and the gleam of his motionless gaze is suddenly tinged with a sliver of doubt. I must say I am eager to see what you will undertake with this sweet power you have acquired. Wondrous miracles, or perhaps unspeakable horrors? There are other paths than these, of course. Good luck, Your Grace. I'm sure we'll meet again, one way or another. Okay. He seems nice. Helm. Ah, so it's you, our dear neighbor. The man in front of you can't hide his surprise? Yes, it must be surprise. I am the representative of the lands of Groveshire. As you already know, we seek your attention in order to discuss a rather challenging matter. So I've heard, but I've yet to receive any details. Nothing too dangerous for your knights, of course. Nothing complicated. Nothing deadly at all. To tell you the truth, a monster haunts the lands of Groveshire. The beast! Fear the beast! I seem to recall asking you to exercise a little more restraint in the stylistic flourishments, dear attendants. A beast, you say? All right, well, this seems much more in my wheelhouse than stopping a civil war. Do we know what kind of beast this might be? That is what we would like to determine. Somehow it is cunning and intelligent enough to draw other creatures into its chaos. Our goats are being slaughtered, and our dogs have become its henchmen. This beast, it prowls through our villages at night, accompanied by its four-legged servants. The pack attacks our herds, leaving behind blood and tears before vanishing into the woods. This pack demands your utmost attention. Your utmost... Perhaps you will find a solution where we now fail? Perhaps, or perhaps not. I have nothing to lose by asking. Okay, well, I mean, I'm certainly happy to help the fine folks of Groveshire, but I have to ask, isn't Groveshire home to many other fine hunters? Why have they not been able to get the job done? We sent our best, but They never came back. Never came back. Oh, cool. We have a bonus option here. I've never seen that. Because normally you would not have a point of kindness by now. We brought that back with us when we came back in time. That gives us a potential peaceful alternative to what would otherwise be a violent confrontation. So I mean, you know we've got to take it. Especially since that's perfectly suited for Angelica. Wits plus agility also involves animals. Though I will say, Goberto would have liked fighting them. He enjoys hunting. Alright, I'll get my favorite knight on it. We'll track these things back to their den. They agree! They agree to help! We expected no less. Send one of your finest knights to our lands as soon as possible. Until we meet again. Indeed. Owena! Welcome back, you old bag of salt. Let's go ahead and get you situated. Right, I've already got a room set aside, just calm down. Who else have we got? Gwendon? Right, we haven't recruited you yet. Which I guess we will. At the very least, you make a good temp until we find someone more worthy of your seat. Right, Sir Gwendon. You can save the spiel, I saw you coming. Phrasing. But yes, I'm certain we have a use for a shining young knight such as yourself. It'll certainly lighten our load. Also, I believe I do have the perfect first quest for you in mind. Welcome aboard. Just, maybe don't get too comfortable. I expected no less. I'm already lighting this place up. Roland! Oi, Your Grace. Ah, that accent. Let me guess, you're from Grest, right? You're here about the road? I? Gosh, be the scallywags of Grest that predictable? So you'll help us then? I will indeed. No need for any further spiel. We can give it a Grest. Aye, yeah. Reckon we're good at what we do, even if you ain't really seen it for yourself. Thanks. Anyway. Bye. And Chester. Alright, what's up? It's over, Your Grace. The Babs are quiet. But the goose and its eggs remain. It speaks to me now. It honks inside. I am the vessel. I am the pond. I have seen the foaming truth. Honk. Guards. Thank you. And that takes care of that. Let's go ahead and get Arwenna set back up. Get her set on a new investigation. Hello, my love. And there we go. Which I think does kind of bring us to a good place to call it. We're pushing the hour mark here. So as much fun as I am genuinely having with this game, I should probably wind things down before I get sucked into another cycle. That said, I certainly could have made it more dramatic, but that gives you an idea of how the basic time travel mechanic works. We did actually benefit from it in a unique way, in that we had that separate option for the Groveshire hunt, because we had banked that extra point of kindness. But, I suppose it would have been a little more dramatic if we had gone and done the alternate Gavault path. Which I will say, aside from just unlocking an alternate branch, also unlocks a completely unique recruit you can only get in that way. But, at the same time, Groveshire also has its own series of branching paths and unique exclusive recruits. Even just this initial hunt can lead to some very wildly different outcomes, depending on how you handle it in both the short and long term. I do like that we got to see a bit of the Dullahan, even if we didn't stick with him for all that long. You know, I just couldn't let my boy Goberto here die. But it is a great example of how almost every knight, I believe, has at least one major pivot point, which can help determine how they grow from that point onward. In Goberto's case, of course, literally becoming a completely different character. But there are several other similar events as well where your decisions will shape what a knight ultimately becomes. You know, which is also part of why I'm kind of being a little more patient than I probably should be with our boy Gwendon over there. It's entirely reasonable to not take a shine to him early on, but he might eventually grow into the role. Same with Chester if I'd actually given him a chance, but you know, like I said, there's plenty of other knights to choose from. You don't necessarily have to take the first ones who stumble into your throne room. And there are some who will simply refuse to change. Like our boy Tarkus, now lost to the mists of time. Anyway, we are pushing the hour mark here, so I really should wrap this up. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'm definitely coming back for at least a few more episodes. Maybe out to the Dragon Knight. We'll see if folks still want to see more by then. But I'm enjoying it too much to stop right now, so we've got at least a few more ahead of us. I'll see you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to RobbyB23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.